You wake up Wednesday morning and everything seems normal until you turn on the news to find that overnight, widespread riots, looting, and violence has taken over this country. Stores, including grocery stores, have been looted and the shelves are bare. To calm the chaos, the government calls for martial law and is asking everyone to stay indoors. The food you have to feed your family is what you have inside those four walls. That can of tuna you put in the back of your food pantry for a rainy day now becomes something you've got to create a meal out of. What do? Hi, I'm Jeremy, and if you're new to this channel, I'm all about keeping your family safe and prepared during uncertain times. I have a family of my own, 2 young children, and I know very seriously how disruptions to normal life can affect their psychology, but also just their routines and their happiness. One of the things we want to talk about in this channel is what do you do if you woke up Wednesday morning after the election and you had to stay inside? The first thing I want to talk about is the food supply that you have in your food pantry. What you have is what you will have until the martial law is lifted and you're allowed to go shopping again, assuming that the stores are empty, or not empty rather. A grocery store normally has 2 weeks worth of food on the shelves between their shipments. If they didn't receive another trek to fill the store, then it'd be completely bare within 2 weeks. Think about that. We're talking about random items like salt, pepper, spices, that mystery meat that's been in the back of their freezer section for months. All of that gone within 2 weeks. Now, if you add chaos, panic, and pandemonium, it's obviously going to go much quicker. What do? One of the things that we've done is we divided our food stockpile into different categories: meats, sides, desserts. My wife loves chocolate. If you're like anything like her, then happiness and chocolate are synonymous. Obviously, we want to keep our kids safe and happy during this time. And so having that normalcy of being able to provide a dessert for them really makes a difference. Now, what you see behind me didn't happen overnight, but it's kind of been a labor of love. Some people see this and they may see a wall of worry, but what I see is a father that is actively preparing to make sure that his family are fed and happy during any kind of national emergency, but even a local emergency. We were in a hurricane in New Jersey and the power went out for 4 days, and the grocery stores had to throw all their fresh and produce and their frozen food out. The food that they did have on the shelves went very quickly, and we found out firsthand that what we had in the house was what we could feed our kids with. Another thing you want to do is focus on the water supply you have. I know if you're anything like us, you go through gallons of milk like butter or like milk. And so we empty these, wash them out, and then fill them with water to put under the cabinet. We just emptied this one. After 2 years, we did a pH test, we smell test. We found that it was actually perfectly safe without any additives. So just store it under the cabinet in the dark, in the climate control of your home, and you can see that this is about 2 years supply. One of the things that I would also ask you to look at, maybe not in the next 48 hours, but looking at a water filter. Now, there are several brands out there. There's a Sawyer filter that we have. There's a Life Straw that you can find a lot of Walmarts as well. And these are great ways to filter out bacteria and viruses and sediment to make sure that ponds, creeks, lakes can be safe for drinking. Another area to keep in mind in the next 48 hours is your medicine. If you had to stay indoors for the next 30 days, how much medicine do you have in your house for headaches, for sinuses? I'm down in Texas right now. It's still 85 degrees outside. And so we've got high amounts of pollen, and some of our friends up north obviously are starting to see snow, but cold medicine, again, if your kid gets the sniffles, do you have the medicine on hand to make sure that they're going to be taken care of during this tumultuous time? Also, along with medicine, cleaning supplies, right? So are you going to keep your house clean and germ-free during this time? I know my wife just got about a 15-gallon jug of Fabuloso from Sam's, and That will be enough to keep our home floors and surfaces clean, along with some other products as well. Also, you've got to look that we're getting close to winter. So how are you going to heat your home? If you're up north, you're already feeling these cooler temperatures. You know, that could be anything from just having firewood, if you have a fireplace, to the little buddy heaters that run on propane. But keeping in mind that if the government told you you have to stay in your home for 30 days because martial law has been declared, how are you going to protect them, keep them fed, keep them hydrated, keep the surfaces clean, and keep their living situation cool and or hot, depending on the season? Another thing to keep in mind is security. How are you going to protect your home? Because I've heard that between normalcy and chaos is about 72 hours. Neighbors that you may have casually known that say hi when you're out getting in your car could quickly turn into enemies depending on what they have in their home and how hungry their children get. Now, I'm not saying that you turn a blind eye to your neighbors, and I think that one of the things that we have seen is that communities can come together. And in uncertain times, you may not want to reveal that you've got a stockpile of food in your home, but that doesn't mean you can't share with those that haven't prepared. You can also like and subscribe to this video and recommend it to them so that they are also prepared and they won't be a burden on others, but will be able to provide for their family. Eventually, the power is going to go out. If the government mandates martial law long enough, then how are you going to keep your fridge and freezer working, keep the lights on? You know, generators are great. And in New Jersey, we had that. And we also had a 10-gallon bucket of gas. Well, not a bucket, but a container of gas. And that was great until the gas stations couldn't refill it, because even though New Jersey law stipulates that they're supposed to have backup power, a lot of them don't. And there's no way to get the gas out of the ground when they don't have power. And so we've also invested in solar generators, and that's a great way to keep the lights on, because hopefully there's still ample sunlight, and even in winter we get a lot of days of sunlight. I would pause just for a moment to say that you need to look at how many watts you use per day, right? So your fridge, typically 200 watts per day. If you're going to get a solar generator to run these appliances and hopefully some lights, you need to do a little bit of math and homework and find out how many amp hours and watt hours that solar generator will produce, so that you're not scrambling at 2 in the morning when your generator fails and now you're a little panicked. Now, as a bonus tip, I want to talk about money. So if you can't go outside, a lot of people default, well, I'll just order something on Amazon. Well, that's great when the financial system is working, but this could quickly spiral into something more serious, where the financial banks and systems begin to crush and crumble. And I would recommend that you get some gold and silver coins just to have on hand. Maybe go to the bank tomorrow, pull out some extra money just to have on hand in case things go south. And again, what you have in the four walls of your home is what you are able to provide your family with for the next, say, 30 days. One of the things I like to do is not just talk about serious matters like this, and they are serious. We need to make sure we take care of our family, but also a little humor. And so as a dad, I like to maybe tell a couple of dad jokes to close. I went to the library the other day, and I was asking the librarian if they had any books on paranoia. And she came in close and she whispered, "They're right behind you," right? So another one of my favorites is, my wife and I recently got into a huge fight. She is just at the end of her rope. She's very upset with me because I don't have any sense of direction. And so what did I do? I packed up my stuff and write. Some of you might get that a little bit. Again, if you're new to our channel, my name is Jeremy, and I have 2 small children, and we're all about family preparedness. Now, we've also put together an ebook, what to happen if the lights go out, how you keep your kids safe and entertained, and that is in the description below. Again, we really appreciate you watching this video. We would love to see more subscribers and shares and likes. We just want to make sure that people that are new to prepping, or people that have been prepping for years, take this time in our country's history as a very serious wake-up call for what could be coming down the road. I'm not saying that anything's going to happen after the election, but there have been a lot of people that sense that some things could. And so as a person that prepares for emergencies, I just want to make sure that my family is healthy and safe should the worst thing happen. So hope for the best, plan for the worst. Again, this is Tinfoil Hat Prepper out. Thank you. Stay safe, stay ready, and stay prepared. God bless.